Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Before we get started, please consider subscribing to my channel and possibly becoming a Patreon. Now this video is a review of the RadioMaster AG01 Mini Gimbals, which are available for the TX12 and the Zorro radios. And here is the box they came in, and I'm just going to give you a quick view of them now installed in my Zorro radio. You can see them there, they look quite handsome. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at them on the computer, and then I'm going to show you how to install them, what you need to do to install the gimbals. Then we're going to go on to the calibration and then onto my summary of the AG01 Mini Gimbals. So let's switch over to the computer. Okay, now let's take a look at the AG01 Mini. Let's see what we get in the box quickly. Okay, so we get our small instruction leaflet. If I can get it out of the box. There we go. We get some extra screws and we get the gimbal itself. Let's take a closer look at this. And you can see it's a miniature baby version of the AG01. And because it's made of metal, let me see if I can do this, it feels, the quality of it feels good. And there we go, there it is. Just a tiny CNC gimbal. But the gimbal feels really good. It's just like the AG01. So there we go. So there's not much to it. What you get in the box, you get the instructions for the AG01 Mini. You get the extra screws and a spring there. They're both set up as sprung gimbals, so you have to change whichever one you want over to be your throttle. So there we go. Now the first thing we need to do is to remove the back covers where the batteries are with both of these. And then what I did, I took off this back piece, which I don't think you actually had to, but I took that off, the one that protects the mini JR bay. I also took the SD card out as well. Then you need to undo this screw here, this one here, this one, there's 8 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you take the back off, there are 2 leads, one attached to each side here, that go to the PC board. Just disconnect those and you can take the back completely off the radio. You can see the 2 leads I unplugged from the PC board that go to both of the batteries, so you now can put the back part of the radio aside. I just want to point out here though, you see these 2 protrusions here, these screws. These are what automatically choose mode 1 or mode 2. This is set up with mode 1. If you were in mode 2, this would be this side, and it pushes through the casing and it makes your radio into mode 1 or mode 2 without having to do anything. On the TX12 you need to use a screw to do this. And now we can see the radio with the back taken off. Now what we've got to do, there's quite a bit of work here. We're going to eventually undo these 2 screws here, and then we can pull the board away. You've now got to undo all of these plugs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's another one there, 6 on each side, so that you'll be able to remove the board. And you just push the gimbal leads through here. So what I did, I didn't undo this ribbon cable. I just undid the 2 screws, undid all the plugs I needed to, and then just folded the radio PC board over so I could get to the gimbals. Now here you can see that I've folded back the PC board, making sure to be careful with this ribbon cable, and you can see I've taken out one of the gimbals already. All there are is 4 screws that you need to undo to take each of the gimbals out. It's not difficult, you can clearly see them and you can clearly get to them. Now once you've swapped the gimbals over, you're going to pull the 2 gimbal wires through these gaps and then reseat your plugs for both sides of the radio, making sure, don't forget the ones up here. There's 2 black ones here, then make sure you don't forget those. Those are for S1 and S2 sliders. Then once you've done that, you see these holes here. This is where the pins go through that I showed you earlier, which activate which mode you're in, physically activate the mode. So it's a simple case of putting the case back on, and the case goes back on very simply, and then reinstalling the batteries and your SD card, and also putting the back covers on. Then we now need to calibrate our gimbals. Now let's just take a quick look at the back of the radio. I want to show you through this hole here you can adjust the tension if your gimbal is set to mode 1. If you use mode 2 you will use this screw here, which will allow you to adjust the throttle tension. Now we're going to switch to the front. Now we can see on the front of the gimbals you've got adjustments here with X keys. These two hex keys here, we can change the maximum travel of the gimbal, the throttle, the elevator, by adjusting either of those two screws. You turn the screw clockwise to decrease the travel and counterclockwise to increase the travel. Now we've installed our new AG01 Mini Gimbals into our Zorro, we need to calibrate our gimbals. Now the way we do this, we go to the system menu and hit the left key twice and we come to calibrate. What I'm going to do is just pick the radio up to center the S1 sliders, because there's a little plastic mark there we can line up. It makes it easier. There we go. Now we're going to push enter and we just follow the instructions, so enter to start. That wants us to set sticks to the midpoint, so we're going to just move our throttle up. On mode 1 we're going to push enter and now it says move sticks. Now what you need to do is not force the sticks to the edge hard, just gently move them. There we go. We'll do the same with this gimbal and up into the corner just to make sure. And then we're going to get the sliders, the S1 and S2 sliders, move those around, and now we can push enter. And we're done. We can return out of here and we've now calibrated our gimbals. And there we go. In summary, I want to say that these gimbals feel very good, like the original gimbals, the AG01s, which I installed into my TX16S, and they do feel very good quality. They're positive when you move the, let me show you, when you move the, you get a click. They're very positive and they feel very smooth. Now, is it worth buying these to put into your radio? Well, I'm going to say, obviously the Zorro comes with good gimbals anyway. There is nothing wrong with those gimbals, but if you want the best of the best, then you will probably get yourself the AG01s. The other gimbals that come with it are good, but these are sort of premium. So I'm lucky enough to get these sent to me to test them. Would I buy them if I wasn't a YouTuber and I used my own money? Yes, I would, because they're good quality. There isn't much more that I can say about them, because they were, as you saw with the installation, how I showed you to install them, they are a little bit tricky. This is not for a beginner, I don't think, personally, to open up this radio, because you have to move the main PC board off of the radio to get to where the gimbals are and to be able to install them. So I would say, hopefully you've got a YouTuber like me near you who could help you if you're, if you're really green at this and and you're nervous about undoing electronics and unplugging the cables, etc. I probably wouldn't do this. It's not difficult, it really isn't, but you might be a bit nervous. So maybe a more seasoned RC pilot might be able to help you do this, but in the long run I think it's worth it. It's quite weird when you come to do the installation that you're setting up your throttle, and we're so used to doing that, where we have to undo screws, take off springs. But with this, when you're putting the radio, you've installed your gimbals and you put the PC board on, then you can't test if the throttle's actually working, because there is a pin in the case inside of the top case of the radio that pushes down and converts it to a throttle, which is a really neat way of doing it. But it's to me, because I'm so used to having to mechanically change it, it was quite strange. So all I did is I pushed the pin down and then made sure I got the tension. Other than that, as I said, it's not simple, but yeah, because if you're not confident about stripping a radio down, then don't do it. Get someone else to do it for you. But they are very, very nice gimbals. Well, I do hope you found this video review useful. And please, if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.